In the previous class, we were discussing regarding the different types of designation of a bearing. In that, we have already discussed what is a whole circle bearing. That is, we are going to measure the bearings with respect to the north or the south. That is we call it as an whole circle bearing. The angles are varying from 0 to 360 degrees. Now next is the quadrantal bearing. In the quadrantal bearing we are going to divide the 360 into the four different quadrants, that is northeast, then east south, then southwest, and then northwest. So we are going to divide this angle 360 into the four quadrants. Okay, we have seen what is the your quadrantal bearing, along with its how we needed to convert whole circle bearing to reduced bearing, and how we needed to convert the reduced bearing to whole circle bearing system, which is going to be very important in order to solve the problem. And then afterwards we have discussed what is fore bearing and what is back bearing. Now fore bearing. Now from I will explain once again regarding the fore bearing and back bearing, because this is going to be very important aspect when you are going to solve the problem. Okay, now suppose we have taken a closed traverse which is going to have A, B, C, D, E, right? If you have taken the closed traverse A, B, C, D, E, right, I will explain what is fore bearing and what is back bearing. Now suppose you are going to look or the bisect from the point A, right? From the point A, right, you needed to bisect the point B. If you are looking towards the point B, when you are going to bisect from A to B, right, whatever the angle it is going to make it with respect to the north. Here remember that you are looking ahead, right? From A to B you are looking, so we call it as an fore bearing. Whenever your sight is at forward, or you are going to move forward, we call it as an fore bearing. So with respect to north, when we are going to bisect by using a prism, by using your compass, when we bisect the point B, right, now whatever the angle you are going to get with respect to the north, that we call it as an fore bearing. Now when you shift your compass to the point B, right, and again if you are going to look from B to A, that means again you are going to look backward. Okay, so we call it as an back bearing. When you are going to look forward from A to B, it is called as a fore bearing. When you are going to look backward towards from if you are going to shift your compass to the point B, and if you are going to look to the backward to the A, then we call it as an back bearing. Now when you are going to take the reading, right, you will be from B to A you are looking, so with respect to north, whatever the angle it is going to make, we call it as a back bearing. Now from B you are looking towards A, whatever the angle it is going to make with respect to north, that we call it as a back bearing. And one more thing that you need to remember, difference between the fore bearing and the back bearing, right, it is always 180 degrees. This thing you need to keep in your mind. The difference between the fore bearing and the back bearing is always it is around 180 degrees. So this thing you need to keep in mind. Now again from B to C, if you are going to look, and with respect to north you are going to measure it, that is called as a fore bearing. And from again if you shift your compass to C, and again if you are going to look towards B, that is we call it as a back bearing. Okay, I hope what is fore bearing and back bearing is clear. Now we are, in order to have these directions, we are going to use one instrument. We call it as an compass, right? We call the instrument as a compass, which is going to have the north and south toward needle to it, right? We are going to discuss regarding what are the different types of temporary adjustments that has to be done, and what are the arrangements will be there in the those compass, that we are going to study. Now we will be studying regarding the different types of compass. There are two types of compass is there. One is prismatic compass and one is surveyor compass. Okay, now Suppose now here again from A to B, if you are going to move, again your direction is changing. From B to C your direction is changing. So C to D your direction is again changing. Then D to E direction is changing. So whenever there is a change in direction is there, we need to in order to measure those change in direction, we will be using the instrument called as a compass. So compass will be having the two types. One is prismatic, one is surveyor's compass. Okay, now these particular compass, it can be placed on a say plain level, plain ground also. It can be measured, the angles can be measured on undulated ground also, or with having the slopy ground also. In all these ground surface, we can easily measure the angle. Whenever there is a change in the direction, we can easily measure it by using the compass. Now let us discuss regarding these particular prismatic compass and the surveyor compass. Now, this particular instrument, we call it as the prismatic compass. Now this prismatic compass is going to give you the angles in between 0 to 360 degrees, right? As you can see, there is north and south is over, it is written over here, right? North is written over here in this prismatic compass, right? It always, if you are allowing it to freely, if you are allowing it to stand, right, without having the, if you press like this, it is going to get locked, right? When you open, then it will be freely floating. If the base, if the box is, if it is properly leveled, then this particular ring, this ring is made up of aluminium, which is going to be mounted on a magnetic needle. It is going to be mounted on a needle, right? So when I show you the cross section of this, then you are going to understand that one. Okay, now this is the numbers, whatever it is written on this particular ring, right? It is written in an inverted form, right? Now suppose if you want to take the reading on this particular, whatever the readings are there, right, you can take those particular reading by using the prism which is there on this particular instrument. Here one prism is there, on that particular prism you can take these readings. These numbers are written in an inverted form, right? Now this particular your graduated ring, right, the north of this particular needle, right, the north of this particular ring, it is going to be attached with this particular your graduated ring. Okay, these graduated ring is going to have the angle between 0 to 360 degrees, right, and it is written in an inverted form. And if you want to take the readings from this, right, you are going to take it from the prism. Now here we are having some of the different things in this particular your prismatic compass. Is the prismatic compass is going to give you the readings in the whole circle bearing. It is going to give you the readings in the whole circle bearing format, that is 0 to 360 degrees. It is going to give you the readings. Okay, now here there are certain things that you need to know about this prismatic compass, right? Now this prismatic compass is this graduated ring, it is freely, it is going to be mounted on a needle, right? It is going to be mounted on a needle, and if you rotate this, right, if you are going to rotate this, you can observe that, right, it is going to show the north wherever it is there. Okay, you are going to get those readings with respect to the north. Here you are going to measure the readings with respect to the north, and this particular prismatic compass is going to give you the readings in your whole circle bearing method, that if the angle is going to vary with respect to the north, right, it is going to give you the direction with respect to north. I will tell you some of the different aspect of this prismatic compass. This prismatic compass, it can be either it is mounted on a tripod like this. right? It is going to be mounted on a tripod like this, right? You need to have some certain adjustments such as your centering, leveling, and then focusing. What is that centering, leveling, and focusing? That I will tell you further. Okay, now here it is your prismatic compass. The main thing about the prismatic compass is this particular prismatic compass here, if you look towards this, it is this particular thing, you can call it as an objective vane, which is going to have one prism, right? Now whenever if you want to bisect, right, whenever if you want to bisect one particular object which is present far away, or wherever there is a change in direction, if you have placed a particular ranging rod, then you need to see that particular ranging rod from this particular your eye vein, this particular eye vein, and then from this eye vein you will be looking towards this objective vein, which is going to have one hair, one crosshair, one crosshair is there, that we call it as an objective vein. So this your objective vein and eye vein, right? The objective vein and eye vein and the object which is there in front of that, all it should come in a single line, and then whatever, if it is going to be coinciding with each other, then whatever the reading you are going to get here on this particular your graduated ring, that you are going to note it by using your by using the prism. Okay, by using the prism. Now this downward portion we call it as a box. The downward portion, the base of this, we can call it as a box. Now we can see the cross section, right? The main difference between the prismatic compass and the your surveyor compass is the prismatic compass, this needle, right, the north, it is going to be attached with the graduated ring, and you are going to take the readings in the whole circle bearing. Now we will see the cross section of your prismatic compass, right? The prismatic compass, the downward portion, the first component here, whatever it has been mentioned, we call it as a box, right? And the second one we call it as a needle, right? This graduated ring, we call this third as a graduated ring. Whatever the circular this thing is there, the circular element whatever is there, we call it as a graduated ring, which is going to have the angle between 0 to 360 degree. It is rotated on a needle, it is mounted on a needle. Okay, so whatever wherever the north is there, right, it is going to show you the reading with respect to the north. Okay, with respect to the north, it is going to show you the readings. Now here from this then next is the objective vein. Here it comes the objective vein is over here, eye vein is from here. From eye vein you are going to look towards the objective vein, and you are, if it is eye vein, your objective vein, and if you are eye vein, if and the object, the thing what you are looking, or wherever there is a change in direction, whatever you are looking there, all these three should coincide with each other. This your eye vein, and then objective vein, and the element which you are going to bisect, all should come in a line, and you are going to bisect it. Okay, so this is your this is how you are going to take the reading in the your compasses. The more detail regarding your how to take the readings and all, right, you will be knowing it when you are going to do the your survey on survey lab. Okay, so there you are exactly, you are understanding how the things are going to work out. There you are going to study, right? So this is your cross section of your the prismatic compass. The diagram is showing you the various element of a prismatic compass. Now in order to fix this particular prismatic compass on a tripod, you need to have some of the adjustments. There are some adjustments that you need to do, that we call it as an temporary adjustment and then permanent adjustment, right? In the temporary adjustments, we are going to have the three types, that is centering, leveling and then focusing. Okay, now what we exactly do in centering is, right, when you fix this particular prismatic compass on a tripod, first thing you need to do the temporary adjustments, that is going to have centering and then leveling and then focusing, right? Now what exactly you are going to do in then centering, right? A tripod is placed over a station with legs spread well apart so that it is going to have the workable height. You need to place this prism at a workable height on a tripod. Okay, the compass is fixed on a tripod, it is centered over the station. Suppose if you are going to mark one point A, right, it is going to be centered over that particular station and the bearing, where the bearing has to be taken. Now how you are going to do it? By having the plumb bob. Suppose if you are going to make a point A over here, right, you are placing your plumb bob over here, right, at the center of the your tripod. You are placing a compass, you are placing a plumb bob over here, and suppose if this is A, this and this should be coincide. So this is how you are going to do the centering, and then more clearly you are going to understand when you are going to do it in a lab. Okay, then leveling. The compass is to be leveled by the eye judgment. Now this box has to be leveled by the eye judgment. It should be it should not have any slope. It should be exactly, it has to be leveled by having the eye judgment. Now sometimes what happens is surveyor's compass, so two plate level are at the side. Now leveling is to be achieved by a ball and socket arrangement, which is to be adjusted by the bubbles, right? That the one bubble will be there, right, that I will be showing you when I will be showing you the your surveyor's compass. And then focusing. Now whatever the object you need to focus or bisect, that you are going to focus it by using your eye vein, and the objective vein you are going to focus, and then you are going to bisect it. So this is what, these are the three temporary adjustments that you need to do, that is the centering, leveling and then focusing of the prism. Then you are going to do one permanent adjustment. The permanent adjustment of the prismatic, it is as good as there is same as your surveyor's compass. Now the permanent adjustment, once the centering, leveling and then focusing is done, then your adjustments are over. This is regarding how the adjustments can be done in an your prismatic compass. Now we will discuss regarding your surveyor's compass, right? We will discuss regarding the surveyor's compass. Right. Now in the surveyor compass, the main difference between your prismatic and the surveyor compass is, in your prismatic compass, this is your prismatic compass. This prismatic compass is mounted on a graduated needle. The graduated ring and this particular north direction are attached together, whereas your your surveyor compass is your needle is not attached to the graduated ring. Okay, here the needle is not attached to the graduated ring, and the readings here you are going to take, in case of your prismatic, your surveyor's compass, you are going to take in the quadrantal bearing system. Okay, for example, if you have reached say north 30 degrees, this is north and this is 30 degrees you have covered, how you are going to write it as? You are going to write it as north 30 east. You are going to write it at, right? Suppose if you have got the reading, say here 30, right? How you are going to read it as? You are going to read it as south 30 west. So here you are going to read the readings in the quadrantal bearing system, and as well as here in the your prismatic compass is going to show you the north, and the numbers whatever it is written over your prismatic compass, it is written in a inverted way, whereas your surveyor compass, it is going to be written in a straight way, and it is going to have the angles from 0 to north to east, in between 0 to 90, and here from east to south again it is written in an again 0 to 90, again south to west, again 0 to 90, and west to north, again it is written as 0 to 90. So this is how your prismatic and your surveyor compass has been varied. Okay, so this is regarding your prismatic and the surveyor's compass. Now we will see some of the differences that are there in between the prismatic and the surveyor compass, right? We will see some of the differences between the prismatic and the surveyor's compass. Now the prismatic and the surveyor compass, the magnetic needle. Now needle is on a broad needle type and does not act as an index in case of your prismatic compass, whereas in your surveyor compass the needle is of edge bar, right, type. Needle acts as an index also. Then graduated ring, as I have told, the graduated ring is attached with the needle ring does not rotates along the line of sight, whereas your surveyor's compass, the graduated ring attached to the box, okay, it is going to be needle and your graduated ring, it is going to rotate. Okay, then one more few more differences are regarding this prismatic and your surveyor's compass is your main thing is your, as I have shown you this in your surveyor's compass, this graduated ring, whenever you are going to rotate this particular surveyor compass, this graduated ring is going to rotate, right, along with the box, whereas your prismatic needle, right, your graduated scale will not move along the box of the compass. So this is the main difference in between your prismatic and the surveyor's compass. There are a few other differences are there. Then eye vein has a prism to the quadrilateral ring, right, whereas in your case of your prismatic compass, you are going to have the readings by using the prism, whereas the no prism is going to be provided in case of your surveyor's compass. Then the readings are to be taken from the south end here, and then the readings are taken from the north end in case of your prismatic your surveyor's compass. Then the sighting and reading are done simultaneously, whereas the object is sighted first and then readings are to be taken in case of your surveyor's compass. Now wherever there is a change in direction is there, then the change in direction can be read by using these two compasses, right, that is the surveyor's compass or by using the your prismatic compass. Okay, so more detail regarding all these two instruments you are going to have in your lab. So this is the some of the basics that was there that has to be told in the theoretical classes that has been covered. So in today's class we have seen what is forebearing, what is back bearing, what is a prismatic compass, what is a surveyor compass, what is the main difference between them, and what are the different components of it, and then we have seen the difference between the prismatic and the surveyor compass. So this is what we have discussed in today's class. Okay, in the next class we will solve some problems on the whole circle bearing and the quadrantal bearing. Okay, thank you.